Hey crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John and it is the last Sunday of July, which means it's the end of Christmas in July, which is a little depressing. Um, we've had QVC on, I think, for the last either QVC or Hallmark, right? So I do buy quite a few things from QVC, especially this time of year. There are certain things that I buy every year, and I buy them at this time of year because I need them for the Christmas parties and different things that I do. So, and then this weekend was Christmas in July for my favorite quilt store. So we had that to do. Then I get to watch Russ, putting stuff together and all that, doing Christmas in July. And then see Sean's got, I mean, wow. And now I go outside and it's like 112. And it's like, well, wait a minute. It's supposed to be Christmas in, I don't know. It's just been crazy. So, but welcome in. Thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We've picked up over the last 3 weeks or so quite a few new subscribers, and that means so much. Appreciate that. Our channel's getting out there, getting recognized. And for you that have been loyal and been listening to me for the last 2 years, how cool is that? Interesting enough, I've been quilting for 2 years because 2 years ago is when I started all this craziness with Christmas in July at the quilt store. And so that happened to be the weekend that I just dropped in and got the inspiration that this is what I wanted to do. And like had no idea it was Christmas in July and what that meant. So, all right, let's go. Y'all been chatty today. Let's see. Joydy was first in. Thank you, Joydy, for being here. She says, getting ready and getting my snacks. You go, girl. We're having roast potatoes and for dinner tonight. It's been in the crock pot most of the day and smells pretty amazing. Hey, Judy, thanks for being here this afternoon. Inez, there she is again. I saw her earlier today. She was working hard. Russ is in, says, hi, John. Hi, Chad. Hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas in July. He's buried under a kitty. Sometimes there's nothing like having those animals. Is there? One of my friends just posted yesterday that her brother, I think it's her brother, had one standard poodle left to adopt because I guess they just had a litter a few months ago. And it was the cutest dog. And I'm showing my partner, and he rolls his eyes and goes, does that mean you want a dog now? And I was like, I always want a dog. Don't ever think I don't want a dog. I just don't want the responsibilities right now with me working full time and being gone so many days. It's too much. I can't. It's not fair to the dog. And then people like Danielle who says, "Well, I canceled my life, blah blah blah." And so I text her to see what's up with her, what's going on. And she sends me a picture of I'm just sitting here cuddled with the most adorable puppy. Like, just killing me. Hey, Alex, thanks for being here. Brian's in the house. Thanks for joining this afternoon, Brian. Balloonas from Tucson's here. Hopefully she came up to get some bargains in Phoenix this weekend, but I bet not. Who else is here? Candace is in. Good afternoon, Candace. Wow. I'm way behind on chat. How did I get so far behind on chat? Candace, Alex, Joydy, Danielle. Hey, Danielle. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. It's not quite been the same not having her on the air, right? I like Russ. Hi, Candace, Brian, Joydy, and whoever I might miss. That's the way I feel. I was on several chats bouncing around today, and I was like, oh, it gets hard to keep up. Danielle. Alex says, love QVC and HSN. I did too. I just, not so much HSN. I don't ever watch HSN, but I do like QVC, and there's just certain things that I get there. So it's kind of funny. I keep thinking I'll cut back, but then I bought several things for Christmas knowing that they can return them till January 31st. And I By the time Christmas comes, they'll be paid off because I get 5 or 6 easy pays on everything, so it's kinda nice. It's kinda like the old-fashioned, layaway that we used to have. Um Jordy says, "I'm sick of Hallmark. They keep repeating the same movies." I agree with you. Unfortunately, that's how I became a Hallmark Plus member, and so we tend to watch Hallmark Plus now more than we do the Hallmark Channel. I think that's part of their strategy. But honestly, it's $7, $8 a month. They had a really good um, sale on it. I know in May over Mother's Day. I don't know if they did July 4th, but and then with coupons and that they give you every month, it's almost pays for itself. But it's just crazy. I did not need another subscription service, believe me. Jeannie's here. Thanks for being on this afternoon. There's Sally from California. Sherry's here. Good afternoon, Miss Sherry. Mama Jan's here. Hey, Mama Jan. She's been quiet the last couple of days. She had some dental work done the other day, so we texted a little bit, but I haven't heard from her pretty much all weekend. But that's okay. We've been busy and had a lot going on ourselves. Ingrid's here. Hey, Ingrid, thanks for being on this afternoon. Always good to see you. Who else? Katrina's here. Hey, Katrina, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Jean is here. Thanks, Jean. Danielle says, if you don't want the responsibility of puppies, I can overload you with puppy pictures. I understand. Just remember, I have grandchildren and I have lots of grandchildren pictures. Who else? Oh, Katrina says she's in the sewing room quilting a baby quilt. I'll show you some of the projects I'm working on. It has been a hodgepodge weekend, and I have yet to get any. Well, I did get 2 things accomplished, so I will show you that. Charlotte's here. Hey, Charlotte, thanks for being here. Hopefully, I'm not missing anyone. Just trying to scroll through. Jackie's here. Hey, Jackie, thanks for being here this afternoon. Jordy says there are a few that I would watch over and over, but nah, not no more. No, I get it. Believe me. And unfortunately, there are several Hallmark movies. I'm like, I should have these memorized by now, but I just like them, especially some of the Prince and the royalty ones. I don't know why I get real hung up on those. Trina says it is certainly hot in Northeast Florida. I bet it is. So let's talk about some of the things I got done. So it's been crazy. And by the way, so I've been trying to drink a lot more Powerade or Gatorade just because I need the electrolytes and I'm not staying hydrated like I should. And Gatorade came out with a new flavor, no sugar, that is called, of course, I can't see it on here, lime cucumber. Who would have ever thought of a lime cucumber Gatorade? But I actually don't mind it. I don't know if we'll buy it again. We bought one for each of us. And it's very different, it's very unique, but I don't know if I'd buy it again. But I don't dislike it. Does that make sense? Mm. All right. So one of the things I need to work on is hey Jackie, thanks for being here this afternoon. Um, I need to find a pattern to do something with this police panel. I think I showed y'all last week. So I need to get the stuff out from Villa Rosa because I don't want to do just borders around it. I think that just seems that almost feels like a cop out, but I also am not going to do 1,000 half square triangles around it either. So I do want to get Villa Rosa out and see if I can find because it seems like they've put a lot of panel patterns out over the last few years. And as you saw, I just got a big stack of Villa Rosa patterns. I sat and went through those the other day. And then I got all of these in the mail. So I'm definitely getting back in and catching back up with Villa Rosa. I do have color mittens that we will give away tonight for Christmas in July. Because, it's not Christmas if we don't have gifts. So I will definitely we'll definitely do a few giveaways this evening what else have I been working on? Oh, I am so excited. I finally got my potato chip quilt done. And so I think these are turning out adorable. I got them all laid out on the wall, and that's what you see, L1, L2. So that's, for me, that's left in row 3, left row 2. So I just need to get the rows sewn together, and then once I do that, then finish it out. I did get my Christmas quilt done that I'd been working on, the layer cake one with fruit cake was the name of the design. Not thrilled about. It's fine. It turned out fine. That's probably a pattern I would never do again. Just didn't didn't come together like I thought it would. And probably it's as much me as the pattern, but again, there's too many other patterns out there. It is actually on the long arm, so I cannot show it to you because my partner decided today that he wanted to long arm, which is great, and it was so super nice. But I had already mapped my day out, and so already had things going, already had things planned, and of course I get up 3 hours before him. And so after we finished breakfast and all that, he goes, "Well, I thought I was going to long arm. What do you want me to start with?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not that simple because someone's got to cut the backing, someone's got to iron the backing, someone's got to put that together, someone's got to cut the batting." So, anyways, I stopped and did it because I felt like if he was willing to learn the long arm and tolerate all of that, the least I could do is give him something to do. So he is actually long arming the Christmas quilt, which I am very, very, very excited about. So that is kind of cool. All right, let's see. Inez says she's been pitting cherries for pie filling all week. That sounds like an interesting job. I remember doing peas because my mother used to can peas. And nowadays, after eating frozen peas, I can't imagine why we ever ate um, canned peas. But I remember what a chore peas were, and I remember what breaking green beans. Lord, I think I broke green beans till I couldn't break no more. But then again, it was all good, right? So. But I've actually never pitted cherries. We buy cherries from Costco every so often because I do love them, but we just eat around the pit and spit it out, right? Mama Jan says she went to Shanghai Grill, which is our favorite Chinese restaurant. It is amazing here. Mava is the one of the owners over there, her and her son, and they are super, super sweet. So happy birthday to Miss Kathy. I forgot that it was her birthday weekend. So I hope she had an amazing birthday. Russ says lime cucumber sounds delicious. It really is just different, I think, because you're so used to all the fruit flavors, which that's what aggravates me. I drink a lot of soda, but it's because I enjoy cola and I like those, and everything else. When you try to go more healthy, it's harder because you can't find anything but fruit punch, grape, orange, all that kind of stuff. Danielle says, I'm in the recliner with a save your tailbone type pillow to sit on. Yeah, we call that a donut. I have a pain in the back door from my recent fall. I can't imagine, girlfriend. I fell down the steps years ago, and all I remember was saying, "Get my son," because he's the only one strong enough to get me up. It was crazy. Trina says, it's been a busy week. One of our mission families come home to have their babies 4 weeks ago. Mom was diagnosed. Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me about that. So she finished her quilt on Thursday. That is so super nice of you, Katrina. And we will definitely keep that family and mama in our thoughts and prayers. What an emotional roller coaster, right? To find out to be diagnosed with that and have a newborn at the same time. I mean, wow, just crazy. Danielle says, yes, Danielle, I will. I have not been on the computer all day, and I'll show you the reason why in a few minutes. Hey, Zaza, she has been all over the place today. I have bumped around multiple YouTube channels, and everywhere I go, there's Zaza. So this lady must never sleep. How crazy is that? So welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Oh, Jackie says she's recovering from a fall. Jackie, I feel bad for you. I hope you have a quick recovery and that it is going well. Thank you all for the compliments on the potato chip. I am happy with it. I will probably do another potato chip. I can just tell you, I plan to never buy another jelly roll. I am so tired of the little stuff falling everywhere. Little Rosie, our electronic robot vacuum cleaner. I know she's fed up with it. And I used a brush and I did everything you could possibly do, but you're just not going to get rid of that lint with all that pinking. I think that they did. So moving forward, I will make my own jelly rolls. I'm not, don't plan to buy anymore. At least I didn't the other day. Trina says, Danya, I was grabbing for the walls today, about hit the ground in the bathroom. That would have hurt on that tile floor. Yes, that would have been a smartie, is what we would have called it back in the day. Mm-mm-mm. Alex says, I have a bunch of scrap wood and shelves and I can't afford a new table. I decided to make a wood tabletop to go onto my old table. See? It's amazing when we set our mind to it, what we can do, right? It's just as crafters, especially, right? We learn to use our resources and do things, and then yet we'll turn around and go buy something new, and it's like, wow, I could have made that. I could have done that. Um, hey, Katie, the Greenland quilter's here. She has been that lady. I tell you what, I don't think she sleeps either. She has been all over the YouTube. She's been working on all kinds of projects, and she's got so much fun stuff going on. Katrina says, "Oh man, cherry juice that goes everywhere." Oh, I just can't imagine, right? It's got to stain your fingers, right? Um, Jody says she loves cherries too. Jen says, "Oh no, the fall. Hope none of you are seriously injured." I tell you what, it does seem like to be in the air right now. Zaza says she eats around the pit too. See, there you go. Cucumber and mint is very refreshing. I agree. Hmm. Right, trying to catch up. Y'all have been chitty chatty tonight. It's been kind of crazy. Mama Jan says we can make our own jelly rolls. Yes, Jen, I did use a lint roller. That's what really drove me. And I like literally took off several layers and just kept going back over it with fresh ones, thinking it was really going to help, but it just didn't. Oh, Zaza, listen. She says her Rosie has Google or Rosie needs googly eyes. Her husband put giant googly eyes on their Hoover. We may have to do that. That would be too adorable. She's been working today, let me tell you. Whatever part of the house we're not in, she's there. Now all I need to find is one to clean the shower and the toilets, and we'd be all good. Brian says, it's bad when your robot vac leaves the dock, scans your floor, turns around and redocks and turns itself off. It's funny because I'm home on Friday working from home. I still haven't quite figured out how to navigate Rosie and make her work. So I text my partner and I'm like, can you tell her to go clean the master bedroom? I changed the sheets, made the bed, like put everything together. So can you have her do that? Because I'm still working, right? And then he texts me later and goes, she says one of her pads need to be fixed. Well, what does that mean? And what am I supposed to do with that? So when he got home, he goes, "Didn't you see the pad was laying in the floor? It fell off because it wasn't snapped on." No, I didn't. I didn't even go look because I didn't know what to do with her. I haven't fooled with her. You've taken care of her. So I just left her for you when you got home on Friday night. So we got her fixed and she went back and cleaned the floors again, but it's too crazy. All right, what else am I working on? So I showed you the potato chip quilt. Then I got the bright idea when I was shopping De La Rosa, right? That I really, really liked this stars and stripes pattern. And I told you I wanted to start doing more stars in that, but look at this. This is just one big giant star. So I thought, how cool is that? So I got all my fabric starched, ironed, and cut. So I've got everything put together um, to do my half square triangles, all the stuff. But I had found a lot of cool uh, patriotic fabrics that I didn't even know I had. So I did not go to the store and buy any of these fabrics. This is all off of my stash. And I found this and I thought, how cool is this to add in to this pattern? I had found this. I have no idea when and how I even got this. And then all of these are for that big star. And then for the background, I already showed you all that one. And then for the background, I had bought this. Missouri Star Quilt had this on a clearance, and I am actually using that as the background fabric. So I think that's going to turn out awesome. So even though we're kind of over the patriotic time of year, I really just wanted to get that one done. So, and the nice thing is I'm learning that a lot of the patterns with Villa Rosa really lend themselves to the AccuQuilt. So I was able to cut everything out of the AccuQuilt for that pattern. And then the plan was to sew this today. So you see how successful John was in getting to the sewing machine with that one. But then John found this pattern, and I just had to get this done, which means then I had to go back. I knew the fabric that I wanted to use. I had to pull the starch out, which I use that Magic by, oh, I don't even know who it's by, right? Magic Premium Quilting and Crafting Spray is what I have started using. I like it way better than Best Press. It is made by Faultless. Faultless Starch actually makes this. So I don't know. I really like this. I really like the feel of it. And I have decided I like my fabrics starched or whatever. So I have started using that. And then I had bought this pattern called Carnival Glass. It's all half square triangles, which I have done very little work on. And I had bought Cloud 9 fabric. So I don't know if you all have dealt with Cloud 9 at all, but Cloud 9 reminds me a lot of the Tula Pink. And so I had to go and get these ready because I really, really want to get this wildness done. And so, but then I had to match everything up, right? So, like, I love this brown. How cool is that to pair with this? And so, and then it ended up, I had to toss a Tula Pink in because I didn't have enough of just the Cloud 9 brand. So I got this, and I got Tula with the rabbit. So I am really excited to get that stitched and get that going. So I have all of those cut and ready to go, but yet did not get to do those this week. And I feel like, sometimes all I do is cut because I've still got baskets over here of stuff I've cut, but yet it hasn't gotten attention yet. But we'll see. And then I got the Christmas one cut, the 3-yard Christmas one cut, and I have yet to get it on the sewing machine. Um, but I'm not even sure. It's just crazy. So, sorry, trying to catch up in the chat again. Hey, Colleen, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Inez says it does, and I didn't realize it would stain your fingers. I put my hands in my pockets when I go out. Yeah, and be honest, you're exactly the way I am because I would have done the same exact thing and then afterwards wash my hands and go, oh no, I never thought about that. So glad to know I'm not the only one that does silly things at times. Zaza says, I don't have a robot back. The hounds would have killed it if they didn't like Hoovers. I bet. My dog used to go nuts when we try to vacuum the floor. He'd chase it all around the house and that. And I'm like, dog, you're killing me. Just killing me. Katrina says they were at her aunt's house when they got bushels of cherries and they still have cherry stains on the ceiling. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I like the giant star. I thought it would be fun to do because it's just one big star. So, right, it's not little. So the whole quilt finishes out 56 by 70. So you can see it's just one big, huge star in the center with a border and then the cut pieces above and below it. So again, it's typical Villa Rosa. It's a large quilt, but it's not lots and lots of piecing, which I think is really cool. So I'm kind of excited to get that put together. I felt like it would go together pretty quick. I've got everything cut for it, so I just got to get Jake over here and get it under the needle. Anya says, "Gorgeous fabrics and pattern. Thank you." So Joy, it finishes out 56 by 70. I'm not sure exactly what the block is. I will tell you, it does take 8 fat quarters to do that pattern. Um, and I really like now that Villa Rosa will let you sort and look for patterns if you want to use jelly rolls or if you want to use fat quarters. And if you want to use 12 fat quarters, it'll tell you what patterns in that. I think they've gotten pretty progressive with some of that. Has been really helpful. Katrina goes, "Do you have a fabric elf delivering fabric every night?" So interesting enough, you all will see I've just been working on videos. So I did 2 shopping sprees this weekend because I went to the local fabric store that was having Christmas in July. And then I went to the main store yesterday. I thought I'd see BBMKY there, but she wasn't there. But so I went to both stores. I ended up breaking up the shopping sprees, but they had fabric for $4 and $5 a yard. And at that point, I couldn't buy it. But then I came home to one of my wholesale orders and I had 6 new bolts of fabric. So, needless to say, the house is getting full of fabric one way or the other. And interesting enough, I also walked in from buying more fabric to 3 Etsy sales of fabric. So, it's like, okay, so see, I do have some stuff going out, right? So, just crazy. Jody says, "Cool USA." It's just so different, is what I liked about it because it obviously, I don't think it qualifies as a quilt of valor because it doesn't have the QOV on it. I think there are quilts that qualify for their requirements have QOV on all of them, and that's fine. I'm not doing that as a quilt of valor. I may end up giving it to the veterans home when I get done. I still need to call them and still need to get that going, but I'm not worried about trying to follow the rules around quilt of valor. That's not my not my worry or need. Alex says we all need a fabric elf. I don't know. I think Jordy probably has just enough. She wants fabric gnomes. Mm-mm-mm. Thank you, Brian. I when I saw the carnival glass, there was just something when I looked at it. I was like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely um, Tula Pink. For some reason, it just really made me think Tula Pink when I saw it, which was the plan. And then I'd been keeping laundry baskets full of scraps and a lot of stuff. And so I actually bought drawers to put it in, rolling plastic drawers, so I could sort it all. And so I got it all sorted. And when I was sorting through, I found that Cloud 9 fabric that I bought. And I was like, oh, it was just meant to be. It was just those two things just came together too easily. Danielle wants fabric gnomes. Danielle and I still need to do some things with gnomes. We especially need to figure out and do this Villa Rosa gnome. And I think I like Jerome better than Nomi, although I'm not sure which one I like better. So, because they're both on there, but I think I like his big beard better. So, I'm not sure. I'm anxious. I need to go back and finish watching Russ because I didn't get to see how his poinsettia table runner turned out, but I really, really like that pattern. Zaza says, I'm over the half square triangles. They're everywhere just now. Yeah, I get that. I don't, um, but I have yet to do any, is what's crazy. So I'm just trying to get around doing just straight cuts on everything. I do like the Cloud9 fabrics. I've ordered a bunch actually for the shop that'll come in this fall. I think they're due like October, November, and because they do a lot of that mid-century modern look, which I think is really um, cool. Mama Jan says she has several half square triangles dies. Mama Jan has, I think, every die that AccuQuilt has thought about making. She has a large collection. And Colleen says, I had to square 84 half square triangles this weekend. I'm over them right now. I get it. And that's one of the reasons I like about AccuQuilt is because they do the dog ears and that. So when you cut them, you really should be able to just sew them with a 1/4 inch seam and press it, and it should be good. Some of us are still learning. Zaza says that Jerome is cuter. I agree. I think I just like the beard. I think to me that's more gnome than the girl with the ponytails. But you know, we all like different things, and it's nice that we have that option. Jordy says Russ's poinsettia came out beautiful. I bet it did because I love the pattern. I saw the fabrics that he had picked. I did see the start of the show because that was right before we left here. I wanted to be at the store at 9 o'clock when they opened. Someone slept in and made us late. So we didn't leave here till about 9:20. So I was able to catch a little bit of Russ as he started, and I just haven't had the opportunity to go back, but I definitely want to um, see it. Jody says pigtails. You're right. Ponytails, one big tail in the back. All right. So you can tell it's been a while since I've had a little girl at home. Zaza says it's all cutting and squaring with half square triangles, and I just can't be bothered with it. Girl, I do not blame you, right? Because life is too short. So let me show you what I did get accomplished this weekend. I am so psyched and excited that I actually finally finished John's quilt for the Virginia Tech Hokies. So before football season starts, I actually got my quilt done. And I started this last year when I was making the ones for my niece and that for the University of Louisville, and decided I really liked this pattern. And believe it or not, I found this pattern on Facebook. It was one of the groups that popped up that had this pattern, and I really liked it so much. I actually did this for me. I did the University of Louisville for my niece because she's a big Cardinals fan. And then her partner, he graduated from VMI, which is the Virginia Military Institute, but that's next to impossible to find, really anything for. So he was also in the Marines. So I ended up doing him a Marine quilt, and I did all of us the same pattern, the same thing, because obviously they're in Virginia, so it's not going to matter anyways. And I thought it would be kind of cute that they had the same pattern but such different quilts. And at the time, realized like I've never done a quilt for John, so it would be nice that John gets a quilt. So I had chose this. I had done that, and it had literally been sitting here with the binding hanging on a hanger for probably 4 months because I did long arm it when I did theirs because the intent was I wanted to do mine first to kind of practice and make any mistakes on, but it just didn't happen that way. I got so far behind and couldn't get it done in time for Christmas. And then now here it is July. And I think I started these like in February of 23. Yeah, because I wanted to make sure I had time to get them all done. So it literally took 2 years for me to, over 2 years to get me a quilt, but that's okay. I have mine now, and I am very excited about it. I do want to just run it through the washer. I haven't done that yet, but I haven't finished clipping all. As you can see, I'm sitting here finding more threads. But I actually stitched this out with a football motif because at the time that I lived over in Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Virginia, my son and I, for our mail time bonding and that, uh, was always going to the Virginia Tech football games. We had season tickets. We always had a blast, and that was our guy thing to go and bond and do. And so brings back a lot of good memories for me. And even though I didn't graduate from Virginia Tech, I will always be a Hokie. I was unfortunately associated with the massacre that they had on campus. Gosh, like 20, 25 years ago now. But that was so scary to live in that community, to understand what a small hometown that was, and just to realize that you have no idea what can happen in a community sometimes. So that was just too crazy, but it is what it is. So I am glad to have that done for me. Anxious to see that come together, and we will um, just move forward, right? Colleen said, yes, Russ's table runner is lovely. Russ does such an amazing job, anyways. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Jackie. Thank you all very much. I am so excited about it. Colleen says, I love the depth of color in your quilt. I will be honest, I thought, who in their right mind would have ever chosen maroon and orange as school colors? Obviously, someone was doing something when they chose to have those as school colors. After you live there a couple of years, you really become adjusted to maroon and orange being together, and you'll really learn to like it. I can't tell you how many shirts and that I have that are maroon and orange, but I certainly get looks when I wear them around Arizona because, of course, everything out here is maroon and gold, and that's ASU, maroon and gold. I don't know what colors University of Arizona is. I can't think of it. So you can tell I'm not a local sports fan, but that's okay. So, anyways, got those done. What else are we working on? Oh, and I found this pattern yesterday. I ended up having to get it off of Amazon because the store was out of it. But it's Abbey Lane Quilts, and it's called Dizzy Lizzie. So I'm not sure if you all have ever done anything with Dizzy Liz or Abbey Lane patterns, but they had this stitched up in the Halloween fabrics that I just did that we brought back from the beach. And it was really cool. And I thought, how cool would this be to do the same thing in Christmas fabrics and make the two birds more like, red cardinals, and actually do the flowers with poinsettia fabrics in that. I think this could really be cool. And so I'm excited. It's 60 by 75. This will probably be a 2026 or 2027 project, but I did grab this yesterday. It's 10 assorted fabrics, white fabric, back quarters for the centers in that. So, it's not one of those. It's one of those to me that's kind of project driven that you'll just want to work on for a while. But yeah, we'll see. Zaza says it's the Halloween school. Yes, that is kind of what it is. And Balloona says UA is red and blue. I, for the life of me, could not remember that. So red and blue is University of Arizona, which is where my master's is from, believe it or not. I didn't go there though. They happened to buy the school that I got my master's from. Oh, look, Alex says she has that pattern in her cart. Yep. When I saw it done up, it was just too cute to pass up. All right, let's do a couple of giveaways. Let me go over and um, get things set up. I had not thought about that. So what are we giving away? We're giving away color mittens. I've got a couple of patterns. So let's give a couple of these away today, and I will get those dropped in the mail this week. So let's do exclamation point. Sorry, guys, I've got to switch and I've got to reach. So kind of crazy. Let's see if I've got this going. There it is. All right. So if you type exclamation point mittens, mittens, and we will give away a couple of these tonight because, again, it's Christmas in July. So you got to give some gifts away for Christmas in July. If you won, maybe you don't want to um, give some others an opportunity. Doesn't matter to me. We're going to mail them out regardless. But because I just got to send one to Scotland, that was very exciting. I went down to the post office, so they thought that was really cool, as did I. So it's always fun to it's just fun to have some things to give away and just make things different, right? So I don't know. It's not like it's a huge expense for me. It is an expense that does come out of my pocket, but at the end of the day, I have so much fun, and I think of you all as family, and I want us to all think of each other as family and enjoy doing things together. All right, what else do I have? So I've been stalking YouTube all weekend. I watched Donna this morning. She was on for quite a while. I caught Ian finally for a change and learned about the cruise and all kinds of craziness that guy's got going on. Katie's been on all active this weekend. She's got so many projects going on. She's just hard to keep up with. So I was able to stalk around YouTube a little bit. Called Shannon on her live this morning, and I don't know, it just seems like I was able to catch up on a lot of things. And I think it's because I was in here cutting in that. So it's easier to do that than it is to always, jump back and forth. All right. Hey, Daphne, welcome in. Thanks for being here. All right. So exclamation point mittens. And let's give away a couple of Villa Rosa patterns. As always, John at Guyscraft 2 is where you need to email me to let me know your information. I will get those dropped in the mail this week. I won't promise I'll get it done tonight, but I will get it done this week and get it out to the U.S. Postal Service. So let's see who our first winner is. All right. All right, give me 1 second, guy. Now Nightbot's going to act crazy. All right, let's see if we can get it to work now. There it is. Sherry Cook. Look at you. So Sherry Cook is one a pattern from Villa Rosa. If you will just email me your address, I will get that out to you this week. Just John, John, at Guyscraft2. Let's give a second one away because we have a couple of these. Joydy. Miss Joydy won. Look at you, Miss Joydy. And I know Joydy's got fabric that she can use to match these up. So Joydy, if you will send me an email as well, we will get that out. And just so you know, if you've won in the past in that, I I don't keep the past winners, so I can't tell you really who's won and who's not, and I don't keep the addresses and that. So, because believe me, I have enough to keep up with, and I don't want the responsibility of having names and addresses of people. So, once I get these shipped out, I just delete everything and just move on. So, how awesome! So, Sherry and Joydy, if you all will send me your um, um, address, we will get those mailed out this week. All right, so And then what else is on my list to talk about tonight? Guys, we're 45 minutes in. I haven't even sewn the first thing. And I actually changed threads in that because I did want to get a couple of these sewn together because I'm really kind of anxious to see what this is going to look like. So let's see if we can work on Carnival glass just a little bit. Because I think this is really a cool pattern. So I just learned like I said, it's hard for me to sometimes keep up with YouTube, and Russ doesn't tell me everything, believe it or not. And I didn't realize, I know Russ and Stephanie are going on a cruise in a few weeks. And so they've got all of that excitement coming up for a few months. And then Ian is going on an Alaskan cruise with Tiffany and Sobeka. So how awesome is that? And they're going on Celebrity, which I do like. I would say my favorite cruise line by far is Virgin. I really, really liked everything about Virgin. But if I couldn't cruise Virgin, I would definitely cruise Celebrity for sure. And I think it would really be cool to go on an Alaskan cruise. I've not done anything like that, but not sure. So we um, we will see. I may or may not have printed out some stuff. Oh, I guess this would work a whole lot better if you thread the needle. Somebody might have forgot to thread the needle when they changed threads. I guess I'll take responsibility for it. I'm not saying I changed the thread. We're just saying someone has to take responsibility. Again, I wanted to get at least a couple of these sewn together so I can see what they're going to look like. Saw new machines down at the store yesterday, and it was kind of cool to be able to walk by and go, yep, I don't need any of those. I have a Juki. I love my Juki. I love everything about it. Although I did look at buying another Juki just because we need a few machines to rent for quilt camp or for the quilting retreats. But I decided yesterday that wasn't enough bargain for me to make that type of investment. So, all right. So let's see how this is coming together. Rita says, threading the needle helps a lot. I lost a bobbin chicken this afternoon. Oh, look at you. I tell you what, the only person I know that ever wins at bobbin chicken is Mr. Russ. That man has some type of magic touch. I don't know what it is. My problem is with the Juki. This thing will just keep the needle just keeps going on and on and on, never acts like. And then you realize you pull it out on the other side and go, well, wait a minute, hasn't hit a lick. All right, let's look at this and look how crazy this carnival glass is going to be when I get these put together. And see, yes, see the corners, the edges on this are close to perfect, as good as perfect as they're going to be for John. See, I don't have my iron plugged in. Look at that for half square triangles. Tell me that's not going to be a wild and crazy quilt. I love these fabrics. So I have become a huge Cloud 9 fan, mainly because they do remind me a lot of Tula. They won't replace Tula. I still like Tula, I like everything, most of what she does. But I really did like these. And what's cool is they're not near the price of some of the Tula pink. So I don't know if you saw, look at the toucan or the parrot or whatever that is in the fabric. So whoever's doing some of the design work for Cloud9 certainly had some vision to what they were trying to put together there. Zaza says her machine has a alarm to let you know it's running low, but it does it too. Yeah, Russ's does too. He just ignores it and just keeps on sewing. So, Sherry, scrolling at the bottom of the screen is my email. So it's John, John, at guyscraft2.com. So if you send me your address there, I will certainly get that out and over to you. So let me see, we might be able to finish a couple of these tonight. So I can say at least I got to sew today. Everybody always asks me on Monday, I guess you got a lot of sewing and quilting done. It's like, y'all think that's all I do. I have too much going on in life. One of the things we were supposed to do is go to the garden this weekend and get some of that stuff cleaned up and finished. So needless to say, that didn't happen. We were actually supposed to be in the park home this weekend, but when I discovered it was going to be Christmas in July, that didn't happen. So we still need to get back up there and check on some of that stuff and get that taken care of. So guys, look how cool is this going to be. Come on. So it goes this way, right? So that is going to be wild when these come together. Man, I am so excited about this. Because I haven't done anything just kind of loud and crazy for a while. Carl, my buddy from my last quilt retreat, was telling me he's working on 301s, Singer 301s. And he's actually got several of those done. That's become his new hobby and tinkering toy. And of course, now it makes me want a 301. He's showing me like the fire engine red one that he's got. He does everything for himself in lime green and some different ones he was working on. And I was like, let's see, I'd like a purple one because I'm very much a purple person. And I thought, oh, the last thing I need, because I have a featherweight. So, I really don't need a 301 to go with featherweight. But I guess if the price was right and the color was right, it would be kind of cool to have one. So I didn't tell him to make me one yet. But as you all can guess, that's probably in the future too. So, but I thought that was cool that he is working on those. He's getting ready to go to quilt camp with Ingrid in about a week and a half. So they are going to have fun. They're going to go down to Stitch in Heaven with Rob Appel is doing a workshop, and I can't remember the name of it, but Rob is actually teaching the workshop. And I think Stephanie's going. So to be that whole crew, so that should be a fun week for them. All right, why are you making noise? All right, maybe he does want a little oil. We'll see. All right, so I got these 4 blocks done. So that is something for me, right? How awesome is that? So that is a start in the right direction. What else did I have on the list to talk about tonight? Giveaways. Ian, his cruise with Tiffany, Sobeka, Russ and Steph on their cruise. Everybody's just cruising. Just crazy to me. All right, let me go back up and set. Let's see what's in the comments. Miss Danielle signing off. Have a good one, Danielle. One day I'll do a quilting cruise. I'm thinking about QuiltCon. Yes. See, I'm waiting for QuiltCon to come back here. I'm just not doing East Coast. And that's the other thing that would make me really want to do the quilting cruise with Ian. I think it would be so much fun. Ian is such a character to begin with. And Zaza is on Ian's channel today, and they're talking about going to the bathroom, all kinds of crazy stuff. I was like, oh my God, Ian just cracks me up. He always does. But between him and Sobeka and then Tiffany, and the fact that it's West Coast and going to Alaska and that, which is someplace, because I'm not a winter person, I'm definitely a summer person. But I think it would be cool because I've always cruised the Caribbean and that. And I'm really not big on flying. I'm trying, I'm really kind of over it. Although work is making me go to Hawaii the end of September. So I got to go to Hawaii for 4 days for work. And everybody at work goes, man, I wish I could. Yeah. And I'm like, I wish you could go for me. As much as I'd love to go to Hawaii and just, but a work conference that I have to go. Yeah, it's just, and it's a 5-hour flight. It's like, wow, really? Colleen says, "I love the carnival glass pattern in the fabric you're using. Thank you so much." I agree. It just something jumped out when I saw that pattern from Villa Rose, and I had no idea. I think it's an older pattern. Yeah, 2013. So it's not like that pattern's been, just coming out. Oh, Brian's going to QuiltCon 26. So he's going to Raleigh then. Yes. So you're going to Raleigh. Must be nice. Jody says it does look like two lot. Yeah, it did me too when I first saw it. Because rust, it just kills me. You can hold any piece of fabric up and rust goes, oh yeah, that's such and such. I'm like, yeah, it must be nice. I don't have that type of command on things, but he does, so that's fine. All right, let's do one more giveaway. Go back and change it. If you won already today, please don't re-enter. But if you have not won today, let's do exclamation point Xmas for Christmas in July. And I bought a few more of these so we could give one of these away tonight. So it was the grand prize tonight for tuning in, putting up with me. Enter to win Xmas for the 12 quilts of Christmas. Let's see if we can give one of those away before we have to go. Zaza says you'll go into hibernation mode in Alaska. That is kind of um, my concern. I just hate being cold. I tell you, it's just crazy. Zaza says, can you add on vacation days? The problem is I don't have a lot of vacation time because I'm still fairly new to this company and that. And then now we're doing the quilting retreats. I've got to save so many days for that. And for, it's like, it's just crazy. So yeah, I could, but the problem is my partner doesn't have the vacation time. So he's not going to be able to go with me. So that would be different if he was able to come over, then we might try to figure it out. Um, but it's just, I'm just a baby. At the end of the day, I am just a big baby. I don't like to be away from the house. I don't like to be away from my immediate family. Um, I just like being here. Oh, Sally says, I won't see you next weekend. Beanie delivery to the shop in Vegas, lunch with a friend, then to Laughlin for bowling sweepstakes. Girlfriend, you are going to have a crazy weekend. And I have been watching your guys. It's so, yeah, they have been just blowing up the channel and that. And I didn't realize they stick money in some of the packages that they send for different things. So I've been watching So Yeah a little bit more. I know I think Sally really likes them as well. Right. Hey, Sherry, I put my email address in the chat for you. It is John, John, at guyscraft2.com. Zaza said American vacation time is appalling. No, I tell you what's appalling is I worked for Europeans for many, many years who used to take off the month of July and part of August. So they always had 4 to 6 weeks vacation. And yet they were arguing and fighting, giving us 10 days. I'm like, dude, if I was European, I'd be off for 6 weeks. But they're like, oh, but you all make it up in holidays. I'm like, no, I've seen your holiday schedule too. So don't even start. So, but I will say I did work for Italians, which were amazing. I still wish I had the vacation schedule, but I worked for some really good European companies back in the day. It was funny. My dad always said, you want to work for an American company. I was like, nope, my European companies treated me the best. All right, let's choose a winner. So, Christmas packet, 12 quilts of Christmas. Let's see who that is going to. Stitcher. So congratulations, Stitcher. So if you would send me an email, John at Guyscraft2, and we will get that in the mail and out to you this week. So congratulations. Sally says, yes, So Yell family are great. They are. They're a hoot. And, it's funny because you watch the ladies and that with Missouri Star Quilting, and, it's Jenny and her daughter and daughter-in-law or whatever and all that. And that's a fun group. But like the guys at So Yeah, it's like they're a little out of control at times. It's like that's pretty cool. So I don't know. I do enjoy watching them, and actually Sally's the one that kind of got me hooked on them lately. And they do have some good sales in that. And then other times it's like, guys, that's not really a great sales price. But um, I don't know. They are certainly a fun group to watch, and I do like some of the free patterns that they do. It's kind of cool. So one of the things we've got coming up, I hope in the next week, to get a video out, to make a decision, an announcement for the holiday quilting bee, which it's hard to believe, but we've already done. We've already gotten through Memorial Day, July 4th, and that, and oh my gosh, it's almost time for Labor Day. I mean, we're starting August very soon, so I want to make sure that folks have time to see what the pattern is, and what you may or may not need if you decide to join us on Labor Day. Over the next few weeks, I've got several guests coming on the channel. So I've got Shannon coming on. I've got several other folks coming on. I will be putting those announcements out this week. So watch and see that as they come up. I'm excited to have some folks join me. I tend to just be kind of that solo person, but I think it's fun to be able to have others on the channel as well. Sean is so good about that. It's just amazing. What a great guy. He really helped me find my niche and kind of get started. And he does that with so many of the young YouTubers. And I appreciate him and appreciate everything that he did. And want to try to kind of pay that forward a little bit as well. So I will be having some guests on this month. Danielle and I are talking about having something for Halloween. And so that's what she was talking about earlier, emailing me. So I've got that to get over to her and get coordinated. Katie, the Greenland Quilter, her and I are going to spend some time together the month of August. So I'm anxious to be on her channel, and she is reciprocating and will be on mine. I will not forget and not show up to her channel like I did last time, or one time before, which was just crazy. But life sometimes happens. But I am excited for what's coming in the month of August. Not so much excited to see the year flying by so fast, but always excited for Halloween and Christmas. But thank goodness most of my Christmas shopping is done. But tell you what, it's just crazy. So guys, I appreciate you being here. If you like what I'm doing, hit that thumbs up. Tell your friends, neighbors to please hit that subscribe button. And as always, until next time, happy crafting.